One signature changed everything. Parker Schnabel didn't rent a small patch and hope. He bought Dominion Creek for $15 million. That is not a small risk. That is a jump off a cliff with the wind in your face and a stopwatch in your hand. Every hour after that turned into a race against cost, weather, parts, and time. Then, during a regular cleanout, a piece of gold slid into the riffles that looked like lightning frozen in metal. The camp woke up. It felt like the ground was finally speaking. The air shifted. The plan felt real again. The question still hangs in the air. Is one moment enough to prove the plan is smart, or is it a shiny trap that lands right before the biggest bill comes due? I'm breaking down the bet, the machine that was built to change the math, the daily grind that eats weak plans, and the moment that turned doubt into belief. I'm following the numbers, not the noise. I'm showing how a team stays sharp when seconds burn cash, why steady habits beat lucky breaks, and how the final wade tells the only story that matters. The goal is simple. Find out if the ground paid for the dream, or if the dream needs to pay interest. Dominion Creek is not a postcard. It is a wall of work. Before a single flake shows, there are 40 feet of the wrong material in the way. Tight clay that sticks to everything. Big rock that bullies steel. Frozen layers that fight back all shift long. Every bucket of overburden costs money now for gold that might show later. Roads rut and sink. Piles grow into hills. Diesel and hours vanish while the clock smirks in your face. This is the part that scares off small plans. It should. The truth is plain. Mining here is a long walk uphill, and you carry your gear the whole time. The Yukon adds its own tax. Storms slam in fast and turn haul roads into mud. Cold mornings thicken the slurry and make the plant drink more water. A small leak can stop everything. The season is short. No one controls the calendar. Miss one good week and it hurts. Miss two and targets slide away. So why swing this big? Because the upside is real. If the ground holds like test holes said, and if the team moves fast while protecting recovery, weekly totals jump from decent to strong, and then from strong to huge. When those numbers stack back to back, a season turns from stress into momentum. There is another layer many people never see. Cash burn is not only fuel and parts. Dozers open tomorrow's bench, while excavators pull today's pay. Trucks cycle so plants never sit hungry. Stockpiles that look fat on Monday feel thin by Friday if the rhythm slips. The whole plan needs speed and control at the same time. Strip for tomorrow, feed for today. Guard recovery like it is made of glass. That balance is the heart of the risk. And to even try it at this scale, a new kind of heartbeat was needed. When the market does not have what you need, you build it. That is where Roxanne came from. A plant designed for this ground, not for a brochure. The goals were simple to say and hard to achieve. Eat more yards per hour. Hold the gold where it hides. Run steady in cold, sharp, unforgiving material. Some machines look amazing on paper. Some even float on water. That works in gentle places. The Klondike is not gentle. The design had to match punishment, not comfort. The first days were rough. Wires sulked. Water lines needed rework. Angles that looked right in drawings were wrong in live material. Belts wanted attention. Sensors asked for patience. Every unplanned stop burned money in silence. A strong crew treated the plant like a puzzle with a prize inside. Adjust slopes by small degrees. Check riffles more than once. Tune water and feed until tailings told the truth. The goal never changed. Push more material without blowing out fines. Protect the part of the box where most of the gold actually lives. Measure, fix, measure again. Roxanne started to find rhythm. Tantrums faded. Throughput climbed. Recovery numbers began to make sense in steady runs, not just in lucky bursts. Then the system grew up. Stockpiles were staged, so loaders stopped sprinting and started pacing. Radios became short and clear, so crews moved like one unit. All timing smoothed out, so belts never starved and never choked. A good plant is quick. A great plant is quick and easy to feed. That shift calmed the site and saved minutes. And minutes are money. The plant was ready. The people were ready. The ground still had to answer. Stand next to a wash plant when it goes quiet mid-run, and the feeling in your chest will tell you what pressure means. Silence is money leaving. Dominion makes the silence louder. Cuts sit far out. Roads beat up trucks and patience. 3 plants want pay now. Feed the wrong spot, and diesel turns into smoke with nothing to show. Skip maintenance, and a cheap part becomes a long shutdown on a day you can't afford to lose. This is where average plans die and good plans learn to breathe. The weekly weigh-in is not for show. It is an oxygen check. A strong week keeps keeps minds steady and hands careful. A weak week makes small problems feel big. When totals dip, smart crews do not panic. They hunt clues, finds slipping past the mat. Water a touch low or a touch high. Feed a little too heavy for the angle. Small changes, then measure. Keep a log compared to last week. Ask what changed. Put the fix in before lunch if possible, not before midnight when everyone is tired and clumsy. The secret that saves seasons is rhythm. Loaders pace instead of sprinting. Trucks flow without stacking at the ramp. Radio calls stay short and clean. The plant boss makes tiny tweaks early, not huge saves late. A tired operator misses the belt slip that becomes a tear. A sharp mechanic hears the hiss of a hose and prevents a shutdown. A disciplined foreman clears mud at the right time so it never becomes a rut that breaks a spring. When rhythm clicks, the whole site moves like one machine. On a day like that, steady, focused, efficient, the riffles grabbed a piece of gold that jolted the whole camp back to life. The nugget looked wild, sharp, branching, bright. Not a smooth blob and not a dusty flake. It felt like a note from the ground that said, keep going. Shapes like that often hint at pockets where water once slowed and let gold settle in odd ways. Those pockets can change a season. Not a promise, but a smart clue. The next move must be calm and simple. Secure the piece, confirm the process, keep the plant fed, and let the science lead the story. The mood shift arrived on its own. Work felt lighter. Handoffs ran smoother. Checks moved faster. Sampling tightened. Mapping focused. Riffles got extra care. Purpose replaced noise. The nugget did more than add weight to a jar. It added power to the plan. We pressed forward with discipline. Test holes stepped out in a clean pattern instead of a wild chase. Feed rates stayed honest, so recovery stayed safe. Angles were protected. Water was tuned to carry what needed to move and hold what needed to stay. Depth, texture, clay bands, and the color of the gravel through the run turned into guideposts, pointing at where the line might travel next. The spot was marked. The grid widened a few buckets at a time, and every bucket was logged by layer. Drone photos traced the channel bend. GPS pins tied samples to exact cuts. Stockpiles were split, so layers never mixed, and the data stayed truthful. Grizzly spacing got a small tweak to calm oversized rock. Short-run cleanups after each haul verified that fines stayed in the mats. When a cold snap thickened the slurry, water pressure came up a notch, and the feed eased a hair to lock recovery. Bit by bit, a rough hunch became a map. Soon the weigh-ins turned hope into math, jumping in steps instead of drips. Momentum grew loud, but momentum without control can wreck a month. The job now was speed with discipline. Keep the grid tight, keep the stockpiles honest, service before failure, and never trade recovery for showy yardage. Keep radios short, loaders pacing, and haul roads shaped before storms hit each day. A viewer sees a trophy. A miner sees direction. If the pattern repeats, ride it. If it fades, pivot early and save a week. That balance is how small sparks become real results. Bulk mining is a roller coaster built on spreadsheets. One week drags, the next flies, with Roxanne steady and the other plants holding pace. Cleanouts lined up with the plan. The talk shifted from possibility to limits. How far can you push without breaking the machine, the roads, or the people who run them? That balance, push hard and protect the system, decides everything. It decides profit, safety, and the mood of a whole camp. I track 4 clocks every day, stripping for tomorrow so plants never starve, feeding for today so targets stay real, maintenance for the weekend so cheap fixes never grow teeth, and weather, always weather. Cold thickens slurry and steals recovery if water is slow to respond. Rain turns pits into soup and chokes the haul if roads are not shaped in time. Smart crews move with the sky. Start earlier on cold days. Stage parts closer before a storm. Cover what matters. Keep spare fittings where hands can grab them without a search. Chasing ghost ounces is a trap. Following real patterns is a skill. If a cut sings, stay with it. If fines slip, slow the feed, fix the flow, protect the mats, and win the week. Jars climbed to numbers that felt unreal a month ago. Then the board showed a season total over 5,000 ounces. That milestone does not end stress. It raises the bar. Now the job is defense. Warm belts before pushing. Adjust water when the morning turns the mix heavy. Check bearings before they scream. Swap tired hoses before they burst and take an afternoon. Simple habits make big weeks repeatable. This is where a camp grows up. You stop trying to win the season in one day. You try to win today. Clean, steady, safe, and then do it again tomorrow. Stack enough of those days, and the scoreboard starts to look like a story that makes your hands shake and your jaw set. That is when leadership matters most, because speed without guidance becomes waste. Gold gets attention. People keep the operation alive. A $15 million claim is more than land. It is a promise to a crew, to suppliers, and to the plan itself. Leadership here leader lives in small choices made at hard hours. Hold the team together during thin weeks so momentum survives. Rotate shifts before fatigue turns into mistakes. Stop a plant for safety, even when the schedule begs for speed. The math demands ounces, but the business demands trust and steady nerves. Doubt always circles big bets. Some folks think the claim is too deep or the price too high. The honest answer is performance over time. Ounces earned against costs endured. But numbers alone do not carry a season. Trust makes numbers possible. When people believe the plan is sound and consistent, they give you their best version. They catch rattles early. They protect water lines when the temperature drops. They hand off a machine cleaner than they found it. That culture is the edge you cannot buy. Clear reasons beat loud orders. If a plant slows to protect fines, explain the why. If a crew moves to a new cut, explain the plan. If a shift pauses for rest after a rough run, say it up front. Clarity is fuel. Praise the craft, not the noise. The steady loader pace that never starves a belt. The weld that ends a problem instead of hiding it. The operator who keeps belts clean during ugly feed. Small wins stack into a wall that holds when weather and stress push hard. That is what turns a risky season into a real result. Real leadership also builds systems. Morning toolbox talks set the day's targets and the hazards to watch. A 5-minute stretch and hydration check cuts injuries that steal hours later. Checklists ride in every cab. Pre-start, shutdown, and the quick mid-shift walk around. A red tag rule pulls sick equipment before it fails under load. Cross-training turns downtime into coverage, so one absence does not stall a plant. Parts bins stay labeled and close to the cut, with spares for the parts that always fail on a Sunday. A whiteboard tracks KPIs in plain view. Tons fed, recovery, fuel burn, unplanned stops, so the crew can see progress without a speech. Short debriefs at shift change lock in lessons while they are fresh. Wins get named. Near misses get fixed, not blamed. Rookies shadow veterans and learn the rhythm that saves belts and bearings. This is how a crew trusts the plan, trusts each other, and keeps speed without breaking. This is how a big gamble becomes a stable operation. Dominion is the test of the whole playbook. Buy big, build smarter, run fast, but never sloppy. Let ounces be the verdict. That lightning-shaped nugget proved the ground can still surprise. Those big milestones proved the plan can scale when plants and people hold together. Winter does not care about story arcs. Only 2 lines close the case: the weight in the jars and the bills on the desk. The numbers settle the talk every time. If the curve keeps bending up with steady feed, clean recovery, and smart stripping, people will call the $15 million buy bold and brilliant. If the curve cools, the lesson will still matter and still cost. Push hard, but build a system that survives long seasons and bad weeks. What you are seeing is rare. A young boss trying to turn rough country into a stable business with engineering, planning, and a crew that refuses to quit. That is not luck. That is craft. That is a blueprint anyone can respect, even if they don't love the risk. What comes next is the same recipe done better. Tighter mapping, sharper test digs, guarding recovery like glass. Maintenance early, not late. Morale built on honest goals, not noise. Keep that rhythm and the season can finish strong. If the ground shifts, the system bends instead of breaking. That is why this story holds attention. Every cleanout can tilt the season. Every week can be the hinge between bold and too far. Every call, from water flow to shift timing, echoes straight into the final total. That is the truth of this work. It is hard, it is expensive, and it is worth it when the numbers land. If you want more clear, no fluff breakdowns of big bets, heavy machines, and the moments that truly change a season, subscribe to Gold Era 2.0. New deep dives are on the way, and the next twist from the ground could land any day. Hit subscribe so you don't miss what happens next.